have Dak throwing the ball, and the ball is actually Dak's head to another guy who looks like Dak catching the ball. Then I want the camera to go in on the middle of the field where the star is, and no, not a star. It's Dak Prescott's face. And you go straight and you zoom until you get to Dak's eye, and then you go into his eye, and inside his eye is another damn Dak Prescott.
Watching Numbskull News, and today we're going to get right back into the Dak Prescott pool of crap. And since Dak Prescott has followed the Washington football team on Twitter, and the Cowboys subsequently left Dak off the hype video for 2021, there's been all kinds of drama, especially in the national media, and it kind of pisses me off. Not everybody. I mean, Adam Schefter's not a bad guy.
That the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott were eligible to start doing a deal on January 3rd, once the regular season ended. And so once again, we're in the same spot that we've been in last year and the year before.
So you see how easy he makes it? All he does is give you the facts, right? The Cowboys have been able to make a deal since January, whatever, and nothing's happened. So you can throw in a little commentary behind that, even put some of your opinion, but can we at least try to make some sense? I mean, look, for whatever reason, ESPN always wants to have these women. I'm not trying to talk crap about women in sports, but there's some of these really annoying women they have on ESPN who basically spout talking points and don't know what they're talking about. Check this crap out.
They've been able to sign a deal for a while now. I think that is telling and important because the team has been dragging their feet on this for years.
So that's the overall narrative, right? Oh, the Cowboys have been just dragging their feet for the last couple of years. No, you dumbass. They've been trying to sign him for the last couple of years. However, you have to have an employee that's willing to continue to be an employee and sign the deal. If he doesn't, guess what? Well, then you don't get a deal done, dummy.
They've also been talking out of both sides of their mouth when it comes to Dak Prescott.
Just hear how insanely annoying that woman sounds. All right. They've also been talking about it both sides of their mouth. Good God. Can they find anybody more annoying?
Some days, he's the future of the organization. He's our quarterback. We love him. Other days, they're speaking ill of him, frankly, or leaking, his his salary demands. It feels very inconsistent.
The only thing inconsistent is her stupid ass opinion. On one side of things, they talk great about him. Oh, he's the future of the organization. He's a great quarterback. We love Dak. And then she says, what on the other hand, they say, because they haven't said anything else or spoken ill of him. No, they haven't. At no point have they ever talked shit on Dak Prescott. Never. And then she has to go to, they leak salary, what he wants in salary. You don't know if they leaked that or not. I mean, anyone could have leaked that. However, it's nothing new that an organization would leak contract demands or salary demands of a player. And it's nothing new for the player to leak out what's been offered to them. All right, it goes both ways. But this idiot has absolutely no idea what's going on. And if she actually bothered to talk to any local people, local media, local journalists, he would find that, look, the organization, they do respect Dak. They do like Dak. There's just been an issue on whether it's going to be a 4 or 5 year deal. Dak is insistent on 4. Cowboys want 5. And for whatever reason, this idiot doesn't understand that. And she has no interest in actually being a journalist or, I don't even know why she's on TV except to just annoy people like me.
It's a mess. It's a mess of their own making. The product of bad contract decisions they've made along the way that we saw play out during the regular season. Like, you can see the players, you can identify the ones who did get big deals instead of Dak, and a lot of those contracts look really bad.
Okay, again, another idiot, another idiot opinion by this moron. You can tell by how someone's playing on what their contract is. I'm sorry, we had a right tackle named Steele. The dude was the worst player of the Dallas Cowboys this year. All right, the guy makes nothing. He didn't get a big contract. What you talking about, DeMarcus Lawrence? He actually had a pretty decent year. He didn't get the sacks we're accustomed to seeing, but he actually played pretty well. I mean, Amari Cooper, considering that he had to deal with, like, what, 4 different quarterbacks and no offensive line, I don't have an issue with Amari Cooper. You must be talking about Zeke, which when you're talking about numbers, yeah, his numbers were declined. Also, his attempts were down. He lost several fumbles, that's for sure. Even with all these contracts the Cowboys have signed, it hasn't hampered them at all to be able to sign Dak Prescott on a 4-year deal for $40 million a year. They have plenty of cap room. This dumbass has no idea what she's talking about. She's just there just to be an asshole.
And maybe the Cowboys' actions have been right all along. Maybe that they've handled this better than we've given them credit for. So Philly and Los Angeles are both in a little bit of a unique situations because they paid their quarterbacks really early.
So now you got Dan Orlovsky, which, most of the time the guy can be a flaming idiot as well. However, he's actually right about this. The Cowboys haven't played this wrong. They've stuck to their guns. And he's using an example of, 2 teams that paid their quarterbacks early. The Rams just moved off of their guy. And the Eagles, they want to move off of their guy. Dan, he's making some points here. He's actually schooling everybody on this stupid show.
A lot of you guys said, pay Dak, and they haven't. And while they don't have their solution right now, they have way more flexibility than those other 2 teams.
And in this year, where it looks like all these big-time quarterbacks are moving around or want to move around, and things are actually happening, like Matt Stafford, the Cowboys, they do have a lot of flexibility, whether it's in the draft, whether free agency, or through the trade market. There's no reason to freak out about Dak Prescott. Why should they?
What the heck has happened that makes you think that they are going to pay Dak Prescott more money than they would have last year with less money to do it since the salary cap is going to be less? Like, what makes you guys think, what has transpired over the last year other than the horrific injury that makes you say the Cowboys won't be the Rams or the Eagles in 2 years from now by overpaying for their quarterback?
That's a fantastic point. I don't know where Dan Orlovsky all of a sudden got a brain, but he's 100% right. The cap is going down, and all these people think, well, the price for Dak just went up. The price for Dak keeps going up. Well, at some point, no one can afford it because the salary cap is going to go down. The Cowboys, no need to freak out. They're in the catbird seat here. They don't have to sign Dak. There's plenty of options out there.
Trying to keep track of all the outrageous things you just said there. I'm going to start with Philly and Los Angeles. We're still going to pretend like Dak Prescott is not a significantly better quarterback than Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, based on what we've seen over the last 2 years. We're really, am I in a time machine? Are we really still having this conversation?
If you can get past the annoying, screech of this lady, the points she's again trying to make are completely stupid. Would I say Dak Prescott is better than Jared Goff or Carson Wentz? Yeah, I've been making that case for a very long time. However, is he significantly better? Well, in the case of Jared Goff, I don't think he's significantly better. I think he's a little better. I think he's worth a little more money than Jared Goff is. However, Jared Goff has been to a freaking Super Bowl, and Dak Prescott has never gotten out of the second round. As far as Carson Wentz goes, he did have a almost MVP-like year, then kind of gets hurt all the time. And now it appears that he's completely uncoachable. He's a big jerk, and people don't like him in the locker room, and now he wants a trade. And no, I wouldn't want him on the Cowboys. I don't care if it's a 7th-round pick. I would not trade for Carson Wentz. I would trade for Jared Goff in a minute. It's less money, and you're not getting a significantly less quarterback.
What have we seen from Dallas? They sucked! They sucked without him!
Mina, they were 8-8 the year before with them. They scored 27 points a game with them. They scored 25 this year. Like, where were they so much better?
And while this dumbass is pulling her hair out, Dan Orlovsky basically just ended her career. He just showed everybody that she's an idiot. Because, exactly, the 2 wins difference between last year and this year. So, last year with Dak, we're 8-8. Big deal. This year, without him for most of it, with him, we only got 1 of the wins. 1 of our 6 wins. The other 5 were because of Andy Dalton. And he missed time due to injury and COVID. Yeah, and you score 2 points a game less this year with your offensive line being trash? I mean, this chick has no point at all. Why is she on TV? Why is she on anybody's TV? It's ridiculous, man. He sucks. Thank God for Mr. Orlovsky, but he's not done.
Went 8-8 with them, 6-10 without them. They scored 27 points a game in 2019. They scored 25 points a game this year.
And that is a stat you can't do shit about. You got absolutely no comeback for that. There's nobody does. The biggest Dak fan, Dak homers here in Fort Worth or Dallas cannot get over that. They can't get past it. So you got people on YouTube and everywhere else talking, well, you got to sign Dak. You got to sign Dak. Well, why? Why? He's not a difference maker.
Let's tie it all together. Let's trade Dak Prescott for Russell Wilson and have an offseason bonanza of stories to talk about.
Of course, Adam Schefter is, having a little fun there, but he knows that all of a sudden the door has been cracked on a lot of really good quarterbacks. We're talking Aaron Rodgers, or we're talking Russell Wilson now, which that kind of came out of nowhere. I started to make a video earlier, and then that news broke, and I had to erase the whole video because I'm like, well, shit.
Mina, as a Seahawks fan, you doing that trade or not?
I am not, because the Seahawks would be paying $40 million on top of Dak's salary in dead cap money. So,
Better.
Yeah, and that's a bullshit answer. That's a big bullshit answer. Because, I'm sorry, the Rams weren't scared of some dead money to move off from their quarterback and bring in another guy. Look, that $40 million, you don't pay that all in 1 year. You can break it up into 2 or 3 or 4 years. You can spread that out. So, it's not about the cap money. It's because you know damn well Russell Wilson is a significantly better quarterback than Dak Prescott is. One guy's elite, one guy's not. You don't want to go from an elite quarterback to a good quarterback. But she's never going to say that truth, all right, because it defeats her whole point, which is really the overall problem with all modern journalism now. It's not about the facts, it's about being right. And whatever way you can spin numbers and spin your shit and create your own truth, it's not really the truth.
what quarterback should they go after, Dan?
They could go after Deshaun Watson. They can go after the draft. They can
He
go
don't
after
know.
Russell
He
Wilson.
don't
They can
know.
go after.
And of course, when you don't have a point, you've already lost the argument. What do? You start yelling over the guy, right? I mean, that's what Marcus Spears is doing. He ain't got a plan. He ain't got a plan. Well, because he's not the GM, dummy. But there's a hell of a lot of options. That's if you would shut up and listen for a second. There's a multitude of options that don't include Dak Prescott.
Let me get this straight. The Cowboys are smart for not paying Dak because of what's happening with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. So when in the hell do we ever pay a quarterback?
Well, you pay a quarterback when he's willing to sign a freaking deal, because they were offering him Jared Goff money, or even more than Jared Goff money. But he wouldn't take it because he wants Deshaun Watson money and that length of deal, which is 4 years. And the Cowboys said no, because you're not Deshaun Watson. So this dumbass. So when do we ever pay a quarterback? Well, they always get paid, dummy. Dak would get paid. You put him out in the open market, he's going to get paid. Some sucker out there will give him the Deshaun Watson deal.
When is he supposed to get paid then? After he puts up
When he shows that he's a
numbers?
complete
After
difference
he
maker.
proves how it
Okay, you could barely make that out, but Dan Orlovsky says, well, when he's a difference maker, you pay him. And that's, my God, thank you. Someone finally, nationally, has said it. When Dak Prescott is the difference maker. What does that mean? That means when guys on your offensive line get hurt, when Zeke isn't the player he used to be, when the defense is struggling, you need someone to step up and do something and lead you somewhere. That can lead you to 8-8. Well, great. But you know what? We could find all kinds of quarterbacks that can get you to 8-8. It's way harder to find guys who can lead you when not everything's going right. When not everything's going right, who can lead you to the playoffs, especially in a suck-ass division like this. Dak can't do it.
Hey,
He
hey, guess
was
what?
one of the five
Guess
best
what?
quarterbacks in the NFL
Guess what?
a year ago.
We got weeks to.
Once again, get past the Marcus Spears just, all over everything. Underlying that, there's a screech, if you if you heard it. And this dumbass woman actually starts saying, lies, lies. Dak was a top 5 quarterback just a year ago. In whose world? In whose world? I mean, you could make him a top 10 guy, but that's only because Andrew Luck retired. That's about it. He's a borderline top 10 guy. But in 2019, you're going to say that he was a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, who had a down year, but still put up decent numbers. Really good numbers. Got to an NFC Championship game. I'm sorry. Aaron Rodgers is above him. Russell Wilson in 2019 was a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Patrick Mahomes, do I even have to say anything but the man's name? Lamar Jackson? All right, that's 4 guys. I haven't said anything about Drew Brees that year. I know he missed like 5 or 6 games, but he came back and had all the numbers and had all the wins. So screw you. Tom Brady? Oh, he was bad that last year. I'm sorry. The Patriots were bad. Because he left and won the damn Super Bowl this year with a whole nother team. And what did the Patriots do? They brought in Cam Newton. And what did they go? Did they make the playoffs? No, they were 3rd in the AFC East. 3rd. They're never 3rd. They were never 3rd with Tom Brady. Never been 3rd in that division. Not for 20 years. Well, even if you're just gaslighting the shit out of Dak Prescott, there's no way in hell you could ever in his career make him a top 5 guy. You can't. People try. People try. See the Dallas Cowboys report with Tom Downey. He does it every video. But it's bullshit. He's not a top 5 guy. He's a good quarterback, y'all. He's a franchise quarterback. I wouldn't mind Dak staying here for his whole career for the right price, because you got to have a whole lot of talent. Everything's got to be going right for Dak Prescott to have success. If it's not, Dak can't win it for you. He can't make up the difference. That's why he's not an elite quarterback. All those other quarterbacks, they can make up the difference. He can't. If you want real news on what's going on with the Cowboys, read or listen to people like David Moore. All right, local guys, and he's not the only one. There's several local guys plugged into the organization. That's who you should go with for your real hard news. If you got to go national, Adam Schefter's not a bad guy because he's not throwing in a ton of opinions. He's giving you the facts, and what the facts may be what they look like. But he'll leave it up to interpretation. And then dumbass, almost said it, dumbass winches like this just start pulling shit out of their ass. And you know what, even if they pull, I can't even say that. Even if she pulled shit out of her ass, at least that would show that she has some imagination or creativity. But she doesn't. She just takes talking points from Stephen A. Smith or Max Kellerman or even Skip Bayless on a different network. She takes opinions that aren't even hers and tries to regurgitate it in some annoying ass voice. And Marcus Spears, I mean, look, he's just going to be loud and obnoxious. He's rarely ever going to make a salient point, ever. Ever. Once in a while, he'll have a little something, but not often. And Dan Orlovsky's usually a moron, too. But on this, look, he's actually got his brain in gear. He's actually looking at the facts. 8-8 versus 6-10. They're both loser records. I know one's 500, but it's still a loser record, especially in the NFC least, y'all. And that's what Dak gave you with his career high numbers, was 8-8. You could throw it on the defense being suck ass. You could throw it on a whole lot of things. But at the end of the day, Dak Prescott could have won you more games than 8. I keep going back to that Saints game. I mean, Drew Brees wasn't even playing. It was Teddy Bridgewater. And I believe the Teddy Bridgewater Saints put up all of 12 points. 12 points for 60 minutes against the Cowboys. And Dak couldn't beat them. Dak couldn't put up more than 12 points. We're not asking for a lot. Can you put up 13, 14? Can you do something? No. No. Because he's not that good. He's okay. He's a good quarterback, but he's not that good. He's not elite. And so, sure, Cowboys can give in to every demand of Dak Prescott, give him the Deshaun Watson deal, and Dan Orlovsky's right. In 2 years, we're going to be like, what are we paying for? Because he's good, but my God, are we really going to have to pay him more after 4 years? Are we going to jump his salary up because the salary cap went up because the TV deal finally kicked in? What are we paying for? Look, pull the plug now. Don't wait 4 years down the road. Let's have 4 more 8-8s. Maybe we'll have a 10-6 in there and get kicked out in the first round again. But we're getting nowhere with Dak. Nowhere. He might have one run in him, maybe. But shit, a lot of quarterbacks can have a run. Joe Flacco had a run. All right, he's nowhere near as good as Dak. He had a run. He got a ring out of it and a big contract. You don't need Dak to have a possible run. A lot of quarterbacks can have a run. Andy Dalton can have a run at $10 million a year. That's all it would take to get Andy Dalton. There's so many options out there. And I'm sorry, at this point, I'm anybody but Dak. Anybody but Dak. Screw it. I'm over Dak. Let him go. Let him go. I don't care if you cut him, you trade him, do whatever you gotta do. If you can trade him, great. If he won't do it, then just let him go. Let him get paid. Let him go to Denver and get paid. Let him go to the 49ers and get paid. Because he'll get paid on the field. He ain't going to get paid off the field. He's getting paid now. He's got a brand new Budweiser commercial and a Budweiser contract. Why? Got a brand new Budweiser contract. Why? Dallas Cowboys. That's why. And if we were going to win with him, if we were going to at least get to an NFC Championship game with him, we would have got there by now. We haven't. It's done. And this video's done. Frankly, I'm just done. So, I'll be back with some other crap later. Bye.